Okay, here we are with part 2, and I've been a bit naughty not loading them up, or uploading them I should say, to YouTube all at the same time, so you've had to wait a little while. Sorry about that. I'm just a bit pressed for time at the moment. Now I've got this huge body area, so what I propose to do is fill that with a pattern fill. So we need to select it, right click, and go to our pattern fill, because if we just selected pattern fill down the bottom here from our drop down menu, we will just get the default one. So we want to be able to actually choose our pattern fill. Okay, now to choose the type of pattern fill you want, we go to select, and the one that I want to use is in the quilting group, and if we scroll down, it's A313, which is this one here. So I'm going to select it. Now I've found this quite useful. It looks a bit like fish scales if you look at it, but it also works for the breast feathers on birds. So just use your imagination as to what you could use some of these shapes and different stitches for. So we'll go OK. Now the layout is the next important thing. As you can see, my fish is swimming from left to right, which means its scale should be the other way round. So I need to change the layout, and you do that by clicking on layout, and it will bring up this yellow area in the stitches. Now let's just zoom into that so we can see it more closely. Okay, so you've got this three blue examples of the stitch here, and then you've got some yellow to show you what it would look like in the full area. And each of these yellow, I've done a video on pattern fill before, but each of these yellow areas, blue areas can have different functions. So if you watch that video, you'll be able to brush up on that. But basically, if we've got this middle one selected here, and you can select the top one or the right one. Whoops, just moved it then, so we'll just undo that and click that one. Now I'm just going to go to the rotation, so I need to click on it again and rotate my scales right around in the opposite direction and hit enter. And now my scales are facing the right way for the fish. So we'll go close out of there, and you can see they're all facing the right way. Let's zoom out to show all again. Okay, now I haven't got any running stitches underneath, so I don't have any need to apply travel on edges, but should I have some stitches running, it's a fairly uniform shape, that's why. But if I had a shape like this, I would have got it. So if I had any stitches running through here, I would apply travel on edges. And I'll just go to artistic view now, so you can get a better idea of how the fish is looking so far. And I think you'll agree, let's just zoom out a bit so you can see the whole fish in my little frame of the video. Okay, I think you'll agree that it's starting to look quite good. Okay, let's go back to design view and show all again. Okay, the next thing I'd like to deal with is the jump stitches. Now at the moment it's a bit hard to tell with this colour scheme that I've used, but there are different colours in this design, and if we go over to the film strip, it's a little bit more obvious. If I go to the colours, you can see there's the black for the eye, the blue for the body, the grey for the fins, and the black for the outline. That's fine if you want to sew it in different colours, but in this case I want to sew this all as one colour, and so I'm going to change it all to one colour before I deal with the jump stitches. So I'm just going to go edit, select all, and change it to red, and click off. Okay, Now we can see we've got quite a few jump stitches. We've got this one, which we can't do anything about. This green circle and red cross. The green circle signifies that the first stitch starts in the centre of the hoop, in the centre of the design, and jumps to the first object. And if we go back to our objects here, the eye is the first object, and then right at the end, if we go down to the end, we've got the outline of the eye and then jumping back to the centre of the design. The first thing I would do is, to avoid jump stitches, is look at the actual order of the objects and put them in the most logical order I could think of. Now for me, the reason the eye and its outline are separated is because originally, remember, we had stitches in the face area, so the eye stitched under the face stitches and then the outline on top to define it. That's how the auto-digitizing interpreted the design. As we don't have those stitches in the face anymore, we could actually get the eye outline to stitch straight after the eye, and that would actually stop one of these jump stitches as well. So let's move that up to the eye outline, just below the eye, and so we've already lost that jump stitch there. It then stitches the rest of the design. Now we could actually have the eye and its outline stitched last as well, or first, it doesn't really matter. But logically to me, if it's going to go from the eye to the body, and then to that fin, and then to this fin down the bottom here, that means it's got to jump from that fin to that fin, which seems a bit silly really, because the 4 fins, which are going to stitch next, can work their way around this way or this way without having to jump down through here. So let's put the top fin to stitch after the tail. Okay, so now it's stitching the eye, the body, this fin, this fin, this fin, and this fin. Now we've still got a jump here because now, and a couple of other jumps, but that's more to do with the start and end points. So once you've put your objects into a fairly logical order, you can then look at your start and end points. Now it doesn't really matter where the outline for the eye ends, wherever it ends, it's got, well, so long as it's on this side, and you'll find that the software usually puts the end at a logical place before the next object. It's got to then jump over here. The next object is the body, so let's select that and let's have a look at its start and end points. Okay, it's starting down here. It's starting here after it's jumped from the eye, and it's actually ending up here. We know that this is the next object from our film strip, so it's then got to jump from there to the next object. So it would be much more logical if the body actually finished down here near that fin. So let's move that end point down there and press enter, and that straight away got rid of that jump stitch. The next object is this fin here, so it's going to stitch this fin, then this fin, so we need to know the start and end points of this fin here. So we'll select it and reshape, and we can see that the end point is down here. Now we can move the end point up to here, and that jump stitch will then run along under the stitching here. Now we've only got an outline stitch, and I am going to change it to a triple stitch shortly, but even a triple stitch may or may not cover. It did cover in my trial stitch out, but to be on the safe side, you could actually digitize a line across here so that you know you won't have a long loose stitch that you may have to end up trimming anyway.